Namaskar, a very pleasant morning. Distinguished speakers of today's very special day, Dr. Usha Mujumunshiji, the Chief Librarian at India International Center, New Delhi, Dr. Nabi Hassanji, the Head Librarian, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, Dr. Sanjay Kataria, Librarian and Professor, Bennett University, Greater Noida, Dr. Vinay Kanthulaji, the Library in Charge at NIT University, Alwar, Mr. Dipendra Manocha, the Director, Developing Countries Program, DAISY Consortium, and Founder and Honorary Managing Trustee, Saksham, Mr. Arihan, a large number of library and information science officials, professional colleagues who have been able to join us from different nooks and parts of India, and those who have joined us online, and also a great appreciation for the colleagues who have been able to join us in person here at DELNET New Delhi to celebrate the Library Networking Day, and yes, indeed, to commemorate the 82nd birth anniversary of the great visionary and missionary, Dr. H.K. Kaul. It's a momentous day, not only for DELNET, but indeed for each and every library professional who very proudly are an integral part of this wonderful profession called librarianship. It is a day to celebrate, to remember the most everlasting contributions of our most profound respected Dr. H.K. Kaul, who really could dare to dream so big for the profession, not only by giving a bigger platform for the professionals and by establishing DELNET way back in the year 1992. His contributions are going to be remembered forever till the time professionals continue to, believe in philosophy that he was always holding it right from the very initial phase of developing, conceptualizing, putting in the seeds of his thoughts of establishing this organization from that small little room size, a 10 by 10 room size at India International Center, wherein he immensely contributed 43 years of his professional life and making India International Center as one of the most renowned center of excellence for learning by establishing that library. That small little 10 by 10 room size of DELNET, all of us knows that how his great wisdom has brought this organization to the stage now wherein we stand. 8,300 institutions who could have visualized in those days and times that strong conviction of Dr. Kaul that yes, there is a greater need to network the libraries. The person, who was having the vision of a yogi, was truly a yogi who was able to envision the future, the intellect of a genius, and yes, indeed, the spirits of a soldier. That perseverance, his endurance has resulted where DELNET stands today, 8,300 institutions onto the network, spread across the nooks and parts of the country. And yes, indeed, we also have, besides being in Delhi herein at Jawaharlal Nehru University, we also have got our offices now, DELNET's own office spaces in Bangalore. We also have our own office space in Pune. And yes, also we are shortly starting off our unit in Lucknow, besides having also a unit in Hyderabad. So today is a day that we celebrate. We celebrate the library networking every moment, bringing the institutions together, the professionals together, and it's all we pay the tribute, the great tributes to the great legendary Dr. Kaul. We would like to start the program giving you some of the memory lanes, we would like to take you along and to show you that how the entire his journey has resulted into wherein how he started, his entire journey. Some of the wonderful memories of the past, remembering Dr. H.K. Kaul, a journey through the memory lane. And these photographs have been handpicked. It's such a great memories of a great person, a great soul. And not many of us are so blessed to have captured, and have in our possession those priceless, memories of him. And we really was wanting that that each and every professional must get a chance to, to dive into the wonderful times. And you can see that how he was able to really bring in that change, how he was able to create this entire phenomena called DELNET. You can see him engrossed in filing the card catalogs at India International Center Library, wherein he joined in 1966 and established DELNET from that small little 10 by 10 small room size at ISC Library. And so you can see him, and not many of our young professional colleagues would be seeing these very rare photographs of him. And these have been taken from his personal albums, which we very proudly, that has been the most treasured thing of Dr. Kaul, that he gave those, the entire albums. He's there. Never speak about him in the past. He's very much an integral part, and he will always be. It's an everlasting presence. It's an eternal presence that he has, and he continues to be that driving force for us. So you can see him here. And he was a person, many of you would be knowing about it. We have here Mrs. Sushma Zuchiji. It's a very emotionally charged moment for all those. We have Dr. Usha Munshiji, those who have practically seen him, that great man. He himself used to, the books covers, he used to cut them, and he used to place them so beautifully. How librarians, they really do that. We generally give it, to our subordinates for doing. And then so beautifully, he used to make a design just at the main entrance of the new arrivals of the books. And he used to do it himself. He used to have the scissors and everything. And when the new books used to come, and then he used to take it out, the jacket, and used to cut it himself. He used to go to the, again to the main, that area just opposite to the circulation. And he used to do that. That was such a the most humblest, I think everyone knows about, the most humble human being he was, and that the great wisdom that he used to hold, but he was the most humblest one, which made him so connected always to everyone. We would like to show you, this is a photograph which typically depicts, he was a yogi. Majority of you would be knowing about him, that he started his career as a yoga practitioner. And that was in that Lakshmi Bai University, Sports University. He joined, and Major General Cariappa appointed him as a, Major General Cariappa appointed him as a, this is also being broadcasted online. No, the reason why I have kept it a little, because this is also being broadcasted online, and we need to ensure that this is being there, because once we transmit online any proceedings, so we also have to, everyone with a different, anyhow. So this photograph of Dr. Kaul meditating on his visionary thoughts to realize his dreams with his unparalleled actions. And that's again, one can see, this is a rare sight. It is rare. It's very, very, the very precious photographs of him. You can see Dr. Kaul. Yes, indeed, everyone. And this photograph of him also, he was such a great humble soul. We have this photograph. It is being captured from a desktop, which is being there. We have a printed copy of it, available with us way back in 1968. And this is when he was at as an assistant librarian at India International Center, and we had Vajit's last year, if you remember, on this day, we had a tribute by Dr. Vajit, who has been Dr. Kaul's, senior when he joined at ISC. So this is a photograph being captured, and with Mrs. Gandhi way back in 1968. So let me show you that, yes, some of you would be knowing in Kaul, a great institution builder who not only established DELNET, some of you, I think, may not be knowing that he also established the Poetry Society India. The Poetry Society India was founded in 1984 and he established DELNET. Means the work started in 1988, but eventually it got registered on 30th of June 1992. He has been a great poet. I have right now on the desk, and we really would like to read one of the poem. He was a great poet, the English poet, and great large number of more than 50 poetry collections that he had to his credit, and he established this poetry society, which is one of the most vibrant poetry society in the country. And so this is a photograph of one of his anthology that was released by the Honorable President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, and this dates back to 2004. Let me also show you. This has been a very historic day for everyone believing in libraries, January 5, 2001, wherein we had Sri Jagmohan ji, the most respected, honored Sri Jagmohan ji, who was a minister for culture at that point of time. And he chaired the entire deliberations at India International Center. This is conference room number 1 we had, and this was a national roundtable on the modernization and networking of libraries. And this was a very historic day, wherein the minister, he chaired, Sri Jagmohan ji, who had such a great bonding with Dr. Kaul, and also, who was always so, supportive of DELNET, tremendous support that he offered to DELNET. And this was one of that particular moment, and it was all being made possible because of Dr. Kaul's tireless efforts. And he was the one who was always wanting this networking and modernization of libraries. Let me show you. This is also for those of us who belongs to the previous generation, I may say, and you can see this moment wherein you can see Dr. Kaul. Who can spot him? How many of you can spot him? Not the younger generation I'm speaking about. We belong to yeah. So this is Dr. Professor P.N. Kaulaji. You can see him. Not many of our young generation would be able to recognize, yes, because not many photographs are being there available. And you can see Dr. Kaul sharing, and also Professor Ivy Malhan, in the photograph, and then we have Professor Ayer Kumar also being there. So this is we have picked it up because this is for our very young professional colleagues to get a glimpse. You can definitely recognize everyone in this photograph. Dr. Kaul, again at India International Center, with Professor Mangla and Dr. Kalpana Dasgupta ji speaking on an occasion. This is this is the handwriting of Dr. Kaul. You can see here, he himself wrote it. We have the actual photograph with us. National Knowledge Commission Working Group on Libraries, 14 July 2006. He was a member of National Knowledge Commission, and also the chairman for the subgroup which was on networking of libraries. And you can see Dr. Kaul over here in this photograph. We have our current president, Shri J.K. Jayakumarji here. Professor V.S. Anurachalam, you can see him. You can see Professor Mangla. You can also see Dr. K.K. Banerjee, Dr. T.A.V. Murthy in this photograph. So many of Dr. Kalpana Dasgupta ji is there. We also have, from SNDT, Dr. Yes? Oh, no. From SNDT, Harsha Parekh, Dr. Harsha Parekh. Dr. Harsha Parekh is there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, this is why it is very important to treasure the past. How many, we are still of this generation. I think all of us, our distinguished colleagues, would agree. You have photographs. We have even Dr. Kaul's photographs, and we really want to create an entire archive that with whom that photograph was being captured. There are much of these, experts who were traveling to India in those times, right from 1967, 68. So we want to create a very historical archives of that, and with the full narration. And that's what, and even do a crowdsourcing at times, this kind of a thing, that if anyone can spot, that who the person was. You can see Dr. Kaul with Professor C.R. Karisidapaji, and this is in one of our workshops that we have with Professor Malhan. And yes, this is also to acknowledge Dr. Kaul's association with Dr. S. Vardarajan, our founder president of DELNET. So you can see the two founders of DELNET in this photograph, Dr. Kaul as a founder director, and Dr. S. Vardarajan. And you can also spot Dr. P.R. Goswamiji, who is a treasurer and a great long-time association. This is also the Silver Jubilee. Again, yet another moment to cherish for DELNET, a 25th year of DELNET Silver Jubilee program that we had on 30th of June 2017. Dr. Neeta Verma ji, and then we had our former Vice Chancellor, JNU, and also Dr. Jagdish Kumarji and Dr. Kaul in this photograph. This is 2010 IFLA photograph, of him. And this is the photograph that has got a very symbolic meaning. And I feel so happy that this photograph, I captured this photograph of him, when we went to Gothenburg for the IFLA conference. And this photograph, we always used to, whenever used to look, at this photograph. And even this photograph, we take it when we saw this, and we had a little discussion before we clicked it. And the words that I have mentioned over here is something that we had discussed at that time, and that is the wheel of time. The wheel of time, because as you know, Dr. Kaul, a great poet and a great, highest level of sensibility he used to have for the surroundings around. And I would just like to mention that this wheel of time turns and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. And for this speaks so true for the great visionary, Dr. Kaul. We pay our most humble, great tributes, and through our work, we strongly believe in paying tributes to that great visionary who was able to really envision the future, not only for DELNET, the future of librarianship, the future for each one of us, and who could, not only to dream, but yes, tireless efforts, relentless efforts to put in his actions. He was a man of actions, not just simply, was able to translate that vision into actions and actions into reality. And it has been a great honor and pleasure that for DELNET to celebrate his birthday, 82nd birthday of Dr. H.K. Kaul as a library networking day. He remained as a father of library network. If we say was a father of library network in India, and for that matter, even for a global perspective, yes, indeed, a person of remarkable contributions, countless, you can't really sum it up in any way. And not just simply in the field of libraries, he was a man, in literature, profound contributions in literature. How many of the librarians have dared to think about having the books, even which are in print, even after 40 years? Historic Delhi, the book, the Travelers India. He was one in 1972-74. Routledge, a publisher like Routledge, after 42 years, they republished that book of him, Early Writings on India. So he was truly a scholar, having a blending of so many things. And we can never be able to express that what all Dr. Kaul means. He just gave his everything. It's like, he nurtured DELNET with his blood and sweat to see to it that we are able to witness what we are seeing today is only because of one force, and that force was Dr. H.K. Kaul. So it's an occasion, for us to pay a respectful homage to the great legendary, the champion of libraries and the library networking, for his extraordinary vision and leadership, and for eternally inspiring DELNET and each one of us. We remain truly grateful for the great support, that network that you are able to help us in realizing what is that net. And it has been a great blessing for DELNET to have got ventured into this path, all being the step being taken by Dr. H.K. Kaul. And we, all of us, have just been following that. But yes, we pay on this day today our great homage to the great legendary. Thank you very much. And now we would like to take this occasion to, and we would like to acknowledge, this is one of the interview that Dr. Kaul gave it to the Oxford University Press. This was somewhere in 2017, 16 or 17. We remember that upstairs in his own room, and because that gives a great sense of connectivity. And we just would like to, make everyone, and we are thankful to the Oxford University Press, and we would just like to play this.
You see, in libraries, over the last 2 decades, there has been a great change coming in. Books are getting digitized,
Requesting my colleague to
content
have a
is
look at
getting
this.
digitized, new content is also developing, getting published in the e-book form, e-journals are coming out. So there is a lot of digital proliferation coming in. But what we notice recently is that information is doubling almost every 18 months, and it's becoming very difficult to know what is the best information or best knowledge for the user. Now, who will do this? Uh, in the past, the content and the level of information was very small and it was manageable. And now, as it's proliferating, we have librarians working in public libraries, university libraries, college libraries, and all kinds of libraries, and the needs of users are so different, so changing, that we have to have librarians managing this digital information. This is a huge task. And there is a big gap between the needs of users and the information available on the themes in which they are interested. So I personally feel that the librarian has a major role to play in future. Librarians should be knowing what is available on various subjects, and librarians should be knowing what his or her users want information on. So therefore, there has to be matching done by the librarian, and librarian should be a knowledge worker. I personally feel librarian today has a responsibility of knowing what is available on a subject in different parts of the world, in different languages as such, and in different formats, in different forms, whether it's in the newspaper form, it's in microfiche, microfilm, digital information, online information, blog or anything. And if we take up one subject, you will see how much information is available. And then the best out of it has to be passed on, collected for the knowledge center, and passed on to the users concerned. That's going to be, in my opinion, the great thing that can happen to a library profession around the world, not only in India. It's a global problem. Knowledge is global, and the users of information are scattered all over the world, and therefore the library professionals in the world should come up with these knowledge centers. I would also like to mention should be cooperation at the international level in developing knowledge centers. There should be no duplication. Information available through a knowledge center should become available to users all over the world, and that's what has to be done.
All, he continues and will always be an inspiration for DELNET. Let me take this occasion to inform you that DELNET from today, the 21st of December 2023, marking the 82nd birth anniversary of Dr. H.K. Kaul, with a great sense of commitment to his vision, to the work, that the great legacy, and also the great belief of him to transform the society. This used to be much close to his not only heart, but to his complete philosophy about life. And one of the things he used to always keep on repeating was that yes, the forces wants a transformation, and we are being assigned that as an agent of that change. We have to do the work. This was so repeatedly he always used to speak about, in whether in professional, whether in personal spaces, that transformation was something that he was always wanting, for which he, entire life he gave it, to bring in that change. I would like to mention The reason why we showed this particular clip, deliberately we showed it, there are two reasons for it. Number one, to mention, as it was always desired, that yes, the library professionals have to work more as knowledge workers. We have to get into those roles. We can see that we have our panel discussion today, a brainstorming session. Why we have chosen this, something very close to him. Not only close, it was so relatable to Dr. Kaul. I would like to mention that from today, DELNET has started working post this program today. We already had got our brainstormings done. We are working on a very major big portal, the Global Emerging Knowledge Trends. Global Emerging Knowledge Trends. It's with a very profound sense of gratitude to Dr. Kaul, who always, he continues to inspire us every moment. Whatever we are doing it, he continues to be that force. He continues to be that inspiration. So we are launching today, launching our work, our commitment that we will, what he was always desiring to do. So we would be working on this global emerging knowledge trends. I find that every professional, every library professional has to work and choose a particular subject in which they are working in their respective institutions and contribute for it. And we would be now approaching our member institutions, making the coordinators sector-wise and helping out to see what are the emerging trends which are happening, the knowledge trends. So I'm very feel honored to inform you that they are just dedicated to realize all the things what he always wanting to see around and to make DELNET to contribute in those fields. So with this, we are now gearing up, but I would just, before we do that, I would just like to read one of the poem from Dr. Kaul's poetry collection, Encounters with People and Angels of Hope, a great tribute to a great person, a great legendary. And this is to read his poem, paying our gratitude to him. The title of the poem is Moving Up the Ladder. Moving up the ladder. Navigating these complexities, separating milk from water, taking everybody along with their diverse baggage, separating chaff from soaked grain in one of the hottest spots meant taking out of its cave in my baggage, in my body. At the dead end of the road, the only way that meant meaningful, esteem, focusing, redirecting the feeble streets, handling myths for ground to clear the vision, the mind, lost in the decaying matter. Map past in wind and fire, trace it in all the way back when my doors and windows were closed, that kept fresh air and light at bay. In this process, the sky had darkened. Clouds had begun to wash the dust away. Common concerns alone instilled hope that was lost in the closed den. Jumping out of the window, climbing the steep way inside, with every step up, the lost baggage began emerging, strewn, without my hand or hold on it. Every step up brought wider concerns, light on old bonds of brotherhood grown stale, grown dead. As clouds thinned, connected the distant past to some distant future through winding, ever-growing roads streaming through life and death. Seamless journeys, seamless bonds in time and space, left mind climbing up the ladder, free from the clutches of space, concerns for time. Homage to the great man, Dr. H.K. Kaul. It's a profound Pleasure now for me to commence our deliberations of the day with our very first session that we have in his honor. And the session, as we all of us are knowing, brainstorming session on transforming libraries into knowledge hubs and library professionals as knowledge workers. We have a very distinguished, highly distinguished panel with us. Dr. Usha Mujumunshiji, the Chief Librarian at ISC, Dr. Nabi Hassanji, the Head Librarian at IIT Delhi, Dr. Sanjay Kataria, who will be joining us online. He has got some very urgent meeting of some MOU signing, so he conveyed his regrets on that, but he would be there online with us, and Dr. Vinay Kanthola. First of all, may I request you all to kindly give a very special big applause to all our distinguished panelists who have been able to join us today. I would just like to brief you that what we would like to really do. We have around 1.5 hour session time with us, around 80 minutes we have with us. We have such a distinguished panel who are going to deliberate on transforming libraries into knowledge hubs. It's a matter of everyone's desire. And we are just following up, on what has been, the stage was set by Dr. Kaul, and we are all being trying to see how far and how well and how faster can we get into the track. So we have our distinguished panelists who are firstly going to share their viewpoints, a very broader perspectives, the two major perspectives we have. The two major perspectives we have, and the perspectives are firstly, that how to transform these libraries as knowledge hubs, and most important factor for us as a professional, how to really, try to bring in that transformation at the skill level, at the skill sets, and we as a library professional, how we can proudly can say, oh yes, now we are the knowledge workers. And that's what is something desired, what we really would like to do it. I have immense honor and pleasure in welcoming Dr. Usha Munshiji. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Munshi, for being there with us and sparing your very valuable time. I would make my best of the efforts in introducing such a distinguished speaker who is there and who has a very well-known figure, in the field of library and information science, with the great contributions that Dr. Munshi has been making, a Fulbright scholar, and he is currently at the Indian International Center as a chief librarian. So there's so much of connect, with Dr. Kaul. And prior to joining ISC, Madam has served at many prestigious institutions, including Indian Institute of Public Administration. All of us are fully being knowing, but still I'll make a very humble attempt. INSTOC, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and Indian National Science Academy at New Delhi, and also the Indian Statistical Institute in Calcutta. She has to her credit more than 100 research and conference publications, and also a few books to her credit. Her publication, Christine, Multimedia Information Extraction and Digital Heritage Preservation, brought out by the World Scientific, is a detailed and distinctive anthology on various facets of research issues in the areas contributed by the world experts. She has to her credit a very a wonderful title, Knowledge Management for Sustainable Development, which was brought out by the Scientific International and was released by the Honorable Vice President of India way back in the year 2013. She also has a number of other books, on Indian higher education research landscape in the global perspective. And one of the major leading titles by Madam includes a data science landscape towards research standards and protocols. She has been a recipient of several national and international awards. And just to name a few, Raizada Memorial Award in 1994, followed by Fulbright Scholar in 1996-97, Assist International Best Award, and many more. Dr. Munshi has also been, received Distinguished Faculty Award from DLA, and has to her credit also the recognitions given to her by the French government, and is the first one to receive this recognition in the area of information science and technology. She is also immensely contributing for manpower development and have been organizing, all of us are fully being aware, a large number of programs professional. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being there with us. And it's indeed an honor and pleasure to have you with us. On our right, everyone would be Dr. Nabi Hassanji, always a great supporter. I would always greatly acknowledge. Let me have this platform. It's a library networking day, a great supporter of DELNET right from the very initial days, and that we could see the wonderful journey that IIT Delhi and DELNET has among the very first 3 or 4 institutions, who joined the network as a member institution of DELNET, which now has 8,300 institutions. Thank you very much, Dr. Nabi Hassan, for accommodating our request. He had some other previous engagement, was very, kind in gracing this occasion here. We have been knowing about Dr. Nabi Hassan ji, who is more and synonym to IIT Delhi Library because of his profound association with one of the most premier institutions in the country. And he also served earlier as a university librarian at the most prestigious Aligarh Muslim University. He is the first Norman E. Borlaug Fellow from India in Library and Information Systems and trained at Cornell University, New York in US. Dr. Hassan has been honored also with the Fellow of Special Libraries Association Award in 2022, winner of SLA Engineering Librarian Award in 2021, Bonn Hilltech International Library Award in 2018. Not many of recognitions, international recognitions that he has been bestowed with. And also he was conferred with the Royal Society of Chemistry Librarian's Choice Award in 2019 and the winner of SLA Overall Best Poster Award in 2020. Dr. Hassan has to his credit nearly 20 books and over nearly 200 papers to his credit. And he is also the president-elect 2023 of SLA Engineering Committee and served as a co-chair of the Annual Conference Advisory Council 2022-23, and each one of us congratulate you on this very, very, great distinction. He is also heading the National Resource Center in Library and Information Sciences Ministry of Education, spearheaded by him at IIT Delhi. Thank you very much, Dr. Nabi, for joining us today and for gracing the occasion. And your presence here has truly been meant a lot by us. We have Dr. who would be joining us in another few minutes time online on this platform. He is also one of the panelists who would be speaking at this occasion. And I would like to introduce Dr. Sanjay Kataria, who is a professor and university librarian at Bennett University. He has to his credit more than 2 decades of rich and fulfilling work experience and is presently as a professor and university librarian, which is at Bennett University of Times of India Group. He's also a founding librarian at SOM Mumbai, JP University of Information Technology, and also at the University Library at Banasthali University. He also has been bestowed with a large number of awards and recognitions, and including International Fellowships and Award, Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in 2012 at Middlesex University in London and 2017 at the University of East London, UK. He also has introduced a unique concept for promoting library services and facilities among the scholar community through quizzes, learning games and workshops, and he has many more recognitions. And we really look forward to his joining us online and to deliberate on the panel theme today. We have Dr. Vinay Kumar Kenthola. Dr. Kenthola, we welcome you to today's program and thank you very much for coming all the way from Neemrana, from Rajasthan, for joining us at the session today. Dr. Vinay Kenthola is the university librarian at the most prestigious NIT University, and he holds a diploma in PC applications and master's degree and has a UGC NET and as well as a PhD in library science. And his research focuses on use of ICT tools in LIRC, use of social media tools. He is also among the top 50 eminent librarians in India for the year 2020, recognition being given to him, and has been since 2014, he has been at one of the most prestigious university, NIT University, Neemrana at Alwar. And he has to his credit, he's being instrumental in implementing a number of programs, including for Shod Sindhu and also PG Pathshala. He has been contributing immensely at the university and has also has a key role in developing the NU LIRC portal. And so we welcome you, Dr. Vinay, and thank you very much for joining us this morning. We would now like to start the deliberations, and let me also mention, that after our first round, and the round is firstly for 10 to 12 minutes, we can have briefly, and some of the key issues to come out of our first round of discussions. And in the second round, we would like to then pick up, the most pertinent issues, which are being there and have more exhaustive deliberations. I would be also requesting all our participant colleagues, not only who are being here in person, but also those who have joined us online, because we really want it to become as a more engaging, enriching sessions, and let there be recommendations to come out of it. And we really would like to, each one of us would really be wanting to constructively, work on it and to see to it, because we may definitely be wanting to hold some of the exclusive programs, to highlight on this two aspects: how to transform the libraries as knowledge hubs, and the second most important things for managing those knowledge hubs, how we as a professionals can acquire those skill sets which are being the need of the hour to work as the knowledge workers. Immense pleasure and honor in requesting Dr. Usha Mujamunshiji to kindly start the deliberations with her vast expertise that she has with her. And we really look forward, ma'am, to getting your valuable insights on this. Thank you very much.
Uh, a very good morning to all of you, and thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta ji, for inviting me to this momentous occasion where we are celebrating the legendary Dr. H.K. Kaul, who has been a friend, who has been a guide, who has been a mentor also. When I started, we looked up to him to learn, to be part of an ecosystem which we had not actually uh, put our foot by choice but by accident, but yet we wanted to survive in this profession, looking to the professionals like the legendary Dr. H.K. Kaul. At the outset, I would like to express my deepest sense of gratitude and appreciation to the contributions of Dr. H.K. Kaul and to the legacy that he has left behind for millions of years to come, to see how the profession has migrated from what it was when we entered the profession and we thought it was just issue and return of the book. And it was just giving, somebody asking for a journal and you just hand over the copy of the journal, to an era where we think that we are not doing only information discovery, but we are also indulging in information extraction, which was hitherto a field, a domain exclusively for computer science. Surprise, many of the activities that we do now are being done by computer scientists, by management science graduates and postgraduates and PhD scholars, and those who are dealing in institutions with data in lab. Rather, they come to us, tell us that how did you arrive at this? How did you create this network? Can we know something more about it? So this is actually the contribution of the visionaries, the legendaries of likes of Dr. H.K. Kaul. Oh, before I would like to share, give you a background before I actually come to the two aspects that Sangeeta ji has floated and which was, referred to in that interview by Dr. H.K. Kaul. So it's more very, very pertinent in today's time. Like libraries as knowledge centers and the people who are working there as knowledge workers. I'm just reminded of a quote by John Hayes. He says the greatest difficulty is not to upskill or change, graduate to next level to learn new things, but what is the greatest difficulty is to unlearn the old earlier, which is very, very difficult. When you are trying to push a change in an organization, the people will first of all, the first reaction is, हम तो ऐसे नहीं करते थे, तब भी काम चलता था ना. Like, but then you have to actually absorb. As leaders, you have to absorb. And this was one of the qualities of Dr. Kaul. Subtle, yet firm in his whatever he wanted to put forward. Now, was. I joined, my first job was with CSIR in store, Earthside in store, and I was a documentation assistant. Why I wasn't called a library assistant or documentation assistant? Because I was not issuing and returning the books, and I was creating. Either the first job was to analyze and see that how we can promote with different models document delivery system of India. Propose a model, and myself and Dr. Arna Karan, Mrs. Arna Karan, we created a model for document delivery in India. So it was a job beyond what was expected of a library. Then I was asked to do program management evaluation, write proposals, get money for the organization, through those prepare project proposals, and then start a project. And then, of course, we did bibliomatics, things like that. So it was a, a deviation from what was expected of a library. So what was I doing? I was doing documentation. A librarian, typical library profession, and doing documentation. I graduate to next level of information resource management. That's the knowledge management. Let's say I may not be managing the information resources alone, but I'm also doing knowledge management. You will ask me why? How? Knowledge management per se, application of the information technology. That was the first level. It got the first spark and it was rolled out as something as knowledge management. The second level was it has to include human management. It's not only the information resources. It is combination of, because I'm talking of explicit knowledge, tacit knowledge. And when you talk of these three knowledge ecosystems, you are talking about not only the information resources, you're also talking of the cultural and human resources. That's what knowledge management is about. And this is in such a at such a juncture of transformation from what we have been doing from decades together to where we have to graduate to a new level for our sustenance. And if we don't do that, we are going to become history. Have to know that. Now, was the second was human. The third was developing taxonomies for knowledge organization or knowledge management, or you can say developing ontology. Now, any one of you can just tell me that we have been doing this. This is line and new bottom. We have been doing taxonomies. We have been doing ontology in different form. What was that form? Taking from the root word to wherever you are familiar, you have the skills, you have the tools to tell people how to organize that knowledge. Now, millions in the world are engaged in ontological representation of knowledge management, ontologically representing the knowledge, using ontology to manage knowledge. And you guys have been already doing it. And there are libraries, there are computer scientists, hardcore computer scientists who are doing this. There are soft computing people who are doing that. There are machine learning people who are doing, artificial intelligence people who are doing, information extraction people who are doing it. But there are librarians also who are part of it. And I was very fortunate at ISI to be part of such a group where we were actually discussing about how do we develop ontology. Of course, we can't have extensive universe of ontological representation because it evolves, the terminology evolves. Yesterday, I was listening to someone, a linguistic, Professor Roller. He's one of the leading linguistics, and he was telling that I have identified 700 new linguistic domains of South Asia. So that's what I'm saying. We were that you are there. You should consider that you have reached that main gate. The little bit explore, you are there in that knowledge management arena. Now, therefore, as I said, I was a documentalist, and if you are working in an academic or college, whatever college, university, library, whatever, so you are a library assistant. I was documentation assistant at that time. So, person who is dealing with this is called as the knowledge worker. The person who just facilitates access to the resources is called the library professional or administrative worker. That's the difference. Now it will make your life easier how to migrate to an era where you will make your presence felt and you will become an indispensable tool where knowledge extraction is concerned. That brings me to two. So I'll just share with you, if I have the time, uh, when how you behave in this, where library is a knowledge center and professionals are knowledge workers in for the generic community, but also for the Y generation. Because I can see many young faces and they have to face the Y generation, right? We are obsolete now, but you guys have to face the Y generation. So I'll just add that. Now, when we talk of library as a knowledge center, how can we do that? How will people treat us? That because we use trusted documents, we trusted sources from trusted institutions, we use sources from trusted communities and networks. We depend on DELNET. It's a trusted network, right? All this into the learning, right? That's how we become a knowledge center. Now, why is library appropriate to be the knowledge center is primarily two things. Some of these, what I said, natural progression, because we go at the deeper level of engagement. Somebody asks you for some information, it's not readily available, you try to locate it. If it's a book, you ask Sangeeta ji that I need this. If it is some bibliography, you try to cull out, or nowadays we are also getting requests, mera speech likho, mujhe pointers de do. So what are you doing? Your level of engagement is going deep, right? That's why people trust you if you can deliver. They will not trust you if you are not able to deliver. They will only trust you if you are able to deliver. The second is our USP is right. The information, because we use channels through which you can discover information, through which you give them the authentic, even if it's not authentic, but that's not your problem because you have taken it from some authoritative resources. If they refer to that, even they are not liable to be any fraudulent practice. Creating this information, storing this, processing this, preserving it for posterity. Services, we are keeping our scholars up to date, like current awareness service. We are also personalizing and customizing services, providing selective dissemination of information or similar kind of value added services. So we are adding, as information professionals, we are adding value to the information before we pass it on to the users. Now we are also doing data management. Librarians are involved with that. We are also doing electronic document, information records management system in different and different forms around us. At some different levels, we are doing this. We are adding value to the information. Again, I'll say little bit of upskilling would graduate us to a knowledge management level. what do we need to do is we need to reorient ourselves to suit the information needs of the generation that you are serving. Most important thing is you have to foster partnerships. Whether it is fostering partnerships for preserving the information, it is fostering partnerships for knowing how do I create, because recently when we did that, of course I did digitization at several organizations, but when I did at IAC, uh, many people have come, and the request for proposal that it was almost 41 pages. It has been borrowed by all the leading, so I don't mind giving. Why should somebody invest? We are drawing money from the same government, same country, so why should there be reinventing of the wheel? Yes, please take it, change the name, pick up whatever points you want. It's very, very exhausting. And many people who are on the committees, they have asked me, आप share करिए, हाँ, ले लीजिए. So that is partnership, because why should you invest time? I invested 1 year to arrive at that robust document. So that should be shared. As I said, process, store, and make this information available, because preservation is essential. And I'll tell, again, I will remember this legendary Dr. H.K. Kaul way back in 1968 when Indira Gandhi was there. They had a tie-up with the British Council. British Council that time, they were, Sushma ji would also know this, they were actually exhibiting their collections at different places through exhibitions. And they did it at IIC also, right? And this vision for India got this collection. Of course, there wasn't many, there were communication exchange, but we have settled it down. And I think for Sushma ji also, we have finally sealed that. It will never go back to London now. Right? We have recently sealed that. Almost it took us 3 years, but we have done that. What you did is that we have Himalayan Club collection, and you name it. I mean, these. And in 2019, we started digitizing it. Of course, when I joined IIC, I said, let's digitize this, because I saw the condition. They were very old and brittle condition. But the way IIC people are maintaining and managing that, using, that organic formula, Saraswati Mahal Library formula, they do it, they pack them, make potlies and put not even a single silverfish you will find in that room. Of course, there is a humidifier, everything is installed, but yet you get those silver fishes, but we don't get. And such a marvelous job they are doing. So I said, we'll get, but where do we get the money? And fortunately, we arranged through our own resources and all. I got the CSR funding for the entire project. And within 1 year of COVID, we didn't stop, finished it, because my funding was for 1 year. During COVID, we completed that project of around 28 lakhs. And that is all digitized. But how is it possible? Some visionary thought of this is going to be important. And you will also appreciate the fact that in that Central Vista, 50 photographs from that collection have been borrowed. And I said, when you put it there, if you don't add courtesy IIC library or IIC, we are going to book you for that. So that is how things, you are, kind of preserving for the posterity. And there's a lot of demand for that. Sushma ji will know, she's a veteran of IIC. So Sangeeta ji will also show her also there for quite number of years. So that's most useful collection, one of the most precious collections of the IIC library. And it is available for public consumption. It's called Digilib portal. If you go do Digilib, you will hit IIC portal. And it's got very intuitive searches. The metadata, several levels of, classification have been. We have borrowed library from the subject headings. Then we did those 256, domain areas of Scopus, We did that many layers. You can't miss a document which you are hitting using any type of vague idea that I know that this could be there. So you use that term, you can hit that. And it's got very intuitive. You must look at it. Only for downloading, there is very minimal charges. Otherwise, for viewing, there are no charges. As knowledge center, you have to build communities of practice, right? These communities of practice are not about bringing knowledge into the organization, but really about helping it to grow. Now, I will just tell you about here is to Poetry Society of India. So, rights as members of ISC. We do every month almost, we do a program with Poetry Society of India just to honor Dr. Kaul. So Sushma ji was there, they were doing Meet the Author. To bring that a community from a knowledge domain together, the experts together to float ideas that could help to innovate. So we do this for the poets, for the authors. Monthly, we are almost doing now 8 to 10 or 12 programs. So we bring domain experts together to flush out an idea. And based on that idea, maybe some other program is being generated. Or they given this suggestion, please do this. Let us do this. Let's have this corner. This is communities of practice you have. Kind of worry if there are less number. There is 1% rule, right? We have 80-20% rule. This 1% rule is 1% of the population out of 100 may contribute to the content. 10% will, 9% will just view it, but it will be very useful. So if I tell you in YouTube there are 100 million downloads every day and 65,000 uploads. That's 1%, right? So contributing, even if it is one person who is contributing, it's fine. You are a winner. This is important nowadays is measure and monitor. Numbers that you are successful, you have created a community. No. Use, understand your users better. Library LMS softwares, it's very, very intuitive actually. So we try to get is the data that what is it that our users are using, what is it there, what for it, the more demand is there. Of course, our this IIC would be the only library where over 70% of the collection is in active circulation. We don't have to more than 70% is active, but we don't brag about it. Okay. But what is important is to read what our users want, what our users are using, and how they are using it, and build collection on that. Right? You should use the midway. Debate, appraisal, review, and evaluations. Before my joining IIC, even then they were regularly sending reminders for overdue books or for the books that have been kind of what do you get? You put a play no put no not remind no you said kind of you reservation of the books, right? Reservation of the books, but if there is no kind of you have to pay the fine. Even if you are a minister, vice president, president, whosoever you are, you have to pay the fine, because the software, it directly goes to the accounts. We have no intervention, and even if they come to us, we say we don't have any role, it has already gone there. So what do we do? IIN. So we used to, your time also they were used to say UPC. It was UPC or the courier. It was, so we thought, what do we do now? We have to monitor, we have to evaluate, we have to fix. What do? We started sending SMS. Some people said, "हम तो check नहीं करते message." We edit WhatsApp. Now percentage of defaulters have come down to maybe less than 1%. And those who are defaulters, they have to pay. We don't, kind of, we get a lot of money. We used to get a lot of money. My account says, आपने पैसा कर, मैंने कहा मगर मेरे दूसरे users भी तो बेचारे परेशान थे. So there is not much default on this. So you have to evaluate. Now, if you have to compete in the knowledge society, right, you need to take cognizance of the new ideas. Think out of box ideas should come to you, that how do I do it? Not somebody will pester you, but you have to be innovative in your own way, little way. Because if you look at the higher education system, Dr. Nabi Hassan and others will vouch for it. Ranking, bibliometrics, research evaluation, publications, all maddening, but we have to be part of that. So you have to know the tricks of the trade. If somebody asks you that, where do I stand so far as my publication output is concerned, I think you need to there are tools, you can do it, you can figure it out from the Google Scholar also, but you need to upskill yourself to get into and to know where those things are. Now, I'll just take 2 minutes. Generation Y. Who is the Generation Y? It's unique, spoken, and demanding. Generation, digital generation, eco boom generation. Eco boom. It's like way. Otherwise, it's like a comb. They don't care, like just like that. So, works with net, who are there, but not, kind of be exhibitive in your actions, because they will not take that. Sangeeta is staying in another room, I will walk down. I'll prefer that. But they will WhatsApp, set up a WhatsApp call and call you, right? That's that generation. As I said, you have to be there, but not being told. They don't care. And we have seen, Nabi has also seen in the US, we thought, what a kind of, behavior these people are. They were Gen Y that time when we were there. So this change is not being told. Being there is important, but not being told, right? So you have to wait and watch. New trends to create and capture knowledge. Give them a book. They will analyze, take something from, collate it, put it somewhere, and put their thoughts into it and pass it on, because they are not, kind of scared of our generation. We were thinking, if we don't write it from here, maybe we are wrong and we will be rebuffed. Don't care about rebuttal. They will write, I thought it this way, right? That. So what is the challenge for the librarians is that you have to have own views, ideas, innovations, think out of box, bring those ideas forward, try to sort it out, and then use the knowledge management processes of identifying, capturing, storing, processing, and serving to the users. Because with the objective that your aim should be that you need to deliver improved operational efficiency through implementing standardized processes, improving visibility, and elaborating collaboration, as I said. So I think I'm just short, but I will finally say that the last of all, what is important is that we don't have to manage knowledge. What is for generation Y? We have to manage the ideas from sources and put it before them. They're not interested that you are getting them 10 books or 2 journals or 5 magazines and things like that. They don't want that. But they want a cohesive environment where they would have to put less efforts with more return on investment. Therefore, to formulate the efficient services to generation Y, knowledge management is the core process with good communication skills that is important for you, using technology without which we cannot survive, and also mindset. Then only your center can become a knowledge center, library can become knowledge center, and you will become a knowledge worker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Munshi, for so exhaustively, speaking on the subject and covering everything. I think, it's a very hard task, you have given now for our other panelists, because you have just covered everything. They have to now be more innovative. As you have said, that we have to really out of box thinking, more innovative, and now they have to really add more to it. And we really can't thank you enough. Such a great deliberation that you had made. And this was just echoing what Dr. Kaul, in fact, I just request our colleagues, we do have the title by Dr. Kaul, Empowering Library Strategies for the Future. And what you have been referring to, the youngsters nowadays, they don't really want that you should give them 10 books, 15 books or articles. They really want to have a very collated version of it, the best of everything. And that's that knowledge component to get out of it. And that's what, if you really have a look at this book and Dr. Kaul's own insights into that, how this can be done, he was always a man who was ahead of his times, and he always was wanting that, even in some of his papers he wrote it also, that can we have that kind of it's more like make my content, it's like make my book, make my content, wherein the librarian would bring in the best of the content. This was very repeatedly being focused by him, that the library professionals should have that skill sets. Even if we see his own publications, which he published way back in the very early 1970s, the best of the things, early writings on India. So the best of the writings on India, which was being done, or historic Delhi. So what he tried doing in those times was he used to review many of the titles which were being there, and then used to collate that and bringing it. And that was really a prelude to the work that we did it later, by conceptualizing DELNET, bringing that. So you have very, in such an eloquent manner, you have brought together these issues which are being there on both the sides, how we as a centers of knowledge has to get into now as a knowledge centers, bringing in that component, this involvement, this partnerships that you have said, that we have to get into those areas. Those are the untapped area, unventured areas. We really keep ourselves a little distant, from them, but they are the ones who are basically the knowledge experts. So we have to have, those collaborations done, because you are basically going to bring that, the tacit knowledge or explicit knowledge that you have to bring in, but you need to have those knowledge experts, knowledge domains we have to get into. Just sitting in an ISO, if you think of libraries as a place, wherein that they will come, no, we have to get into those, and they are the ones who are going to contribute, to it. So thank you very much, Dr. Munshi, for it has really been a remarkable viewpoints that you have shared on this platform today. And as we could notice, lot many takeaways. And I think, we will also try to conduct some very specialized, programs in person, online, on various topics, that we are thinking about, and basically to create a kind of not only an awareness, but something doable, actionable, how we can bring in. And in our libraries, we can put a very special focus then, on working on those areas. Thank you very much. I requesting digital, applause, is also being there, but we don't have in this platform. And that becomes also at times, a more intrusion into the systems. But those who are distinguished colleagues who are being here, requesting everyone, give a very special big applause to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Usha Munshiji, was really, really very kind in sharing her, such a wonderful deliberations. It's a time for me now to move towards the right, and we have Dr. Nabi Hassanji, and requesting Dr. Nabi Hassan to kindly share, having such a great experience of working in the most prestigious institutions, not only at IIT Delhi, he was also at Aligarh Muslim University, and it would really be now a pleasure, to get insights from him, that his what he would, Dr. Nabi would like to share with everyone. It's over to you, Dr. Hassan. And once again, thank you so very much for being there with us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta. In fact, I have more notes from Dr. Usha what I brought with me. It's always a great experience listening to Dr. Usha. In fact, she is the generation Y, not the younger ones. She is the generation Y, who is like always demanding, you can say, looking for some new information and trying to help people to learn new things as well. So I was somehow also associated with her digitization project and the work she did. It was really a tremendous work, and we really appreciate like how hard, how much hard work she's putting in all those activities. So thank you, DELNET, for giving me this opportunity to pay most resounding tribute to the father of DELNET. So I want to say a few words about Dr. Kaul before I coming to the topic. His legacy remains on every shelf, every page turned, and in the countless lives enriched by the gift of knowledge he cultivated. In his visionary footsteps, the corridors of knowledge expanded, connecting countless minds across Delhi and then to whole India and Asia, weaving a tapestry of wisdom through the intricate threads of his dedication. So I was lucky that I was part of many of the events that DELNET hosted under his leadership, and we could learn many things from him. Coming to the panel, I think Dr. Usha has not left anything for us, but I may like to add some of the points on the basis of our experience in IIT Delhi, and also now our IIT Delhi Abu Dhabi campus is starting first MTech course from January 1. So I was part of that team who is like establishing a new library in Zayed University campus, where our temporary campus is coming up. I was in UAE, and now we plan to like post some senior person there. So I visited many libraries there, and I can see like the librarians are placed at in different roles, like that classification and indexing knowledge we are carrying forward, and like we are using the word taxonomy, or we are using the word ontology. You will find a lot of librarians are posted in Amazon, Flipkart, Accenture, G. They're doing great work because their mindset is like that indexing mindset or classification type of mindset, and they are having very good salaries. This is how the profession is transforming, or the librarians are becoming knowledge workers. So libraries have undergone a profound metamorphosis in the digital age. The traditional role of a static information repository of a library has evolved into a vibrant knowledge hub, embracing technology and innovation. And modern libraries are vibrant spaces fostering collaboration, learning, and innovation. They have embraced inclusivity, catering to diverse demographics and interests. Embracing cutting edge technologies such as AI, virtual reality, augmented reality, data analytics, libraries have extended accessibility and engagement, transcending geographical barriers. In fact, when we are planning for our own library system in IIT Delhi for different like renovation or collaborative spaces, we are asked to we are asked by the authority like who are the people who are coming to the library. They want to understand like whether these are the undergraduate students or postgraduate students or PhD scholars or maybe from particular domain. Are these management students who are coming to library or the humanities people or the chemical engineers? So I think we need to understand the requirements or the perception of the authorities, and that is why we are like placing different type of technologies in our libraries, and we are able to get that data like 10 people from the chemical engineering department are studying in my library as of now, and another 20 people are from electrical engineering. So we have all these like facilities we have created, we have transformed ourselves to provide all these services. And this transformation has not only reshaped the physical spaces, but also refined the role of library professional as dynamic knowledge workers. So transforming libraries into knowledge hubs and library professionals into knowledge workers is important in today's world. Knowledge workers are individuals who use their knowledge and expertise to create value for their organization. We need to understand as how library professionals uh, are becoming knowledge workers and how they are contributing to the growth of their organization. Like Madam was saying that this generation wise demanding, they have their own thoughts, they may not be agreeing to us. Like my son is not agreeing on many aspects. Like yesterday was the PTM, and his result was shown to me. So his rank was down in the school by 2. So I discussed with him, your rank is down, your percentage is down, your grade is down. So he told me, Papa, don't worry about that and don't discuss about, my focus is on my board exam. These are the school term exams. So I know how to figure out my timings, how to like score well, and how to like compete in this competitive world. So he was saying that now the admission in the undergraduate is not on the basis of like the percentage that you have. It is on the basis of competition. So I think this generation, why uh, they have their own thoughts. And like yesterday, one of my colleague came to my office and shown me some of the books by Vinoba Bhave, by Vivekananda, and maybe some of the Marxists and other people. And she showed me that how beautifully the people have given their comment on different portions of the book. So they may not be agreeing to like some of the thoughts even by the great people. So they are still like putting their thoughts there, and they want to convey like they have a different perspective, and they may not necessarily be wrong. So the role of knowledge workers or the library professional now extend beyond like curating and organizing information. They navigate the complex digital landscape, ensuring the effective dissemination of information and knowledge. However, this transformation is not devoid of challenges. Library face hurdles such as budget constraint, resistance to change, and concerns regarding the digital divide. To propel this transformation, strategies must be adopted like staff training, strategic partnerships, and leveraging technology are vital. Advocacy for increasing funding and support is imperative to sustain these evolving knowledge centers. The libraries are addressing the challenges and they are transforming themselves to meet the changing needs of their users. Libraries are becoming more than just information repositories, they are becoming knowledge hubs then that foster learning and innovation. On this occasion, I would like to answer some of the questions which are repeatedly asked to the librarians when we are facing. This question I faced when I appeared for the post of Deputy Librarian at IIT Delhi in 2009, and still we are facing like one of my deputy director who is from Harvard again asked the same question. Nabi, are really people coming to the library? Do we still read libraries? everything is accessible through like our devices. So why do we need library? Then I just could uh, show him the data, like 650 people are sitting as of now in the library. So what they are doing in the library? Are they using the library just as a space for reading, or are they really using the library resources, or how the library is contributing for the institute's ecosystem? So I think these are some of the questions which are repeatedly asked. In fact, when we are in interviews on the other side of the table, we are also asking you this question. But it does not mean that we are not supporting you. We just want to understand your thought. So we have already conducted few of these surveys, and we could found that libraries are still needed not as a reading spaces or sitting spaces. Like if the student need to uh, complete a collaborative project, they are sitting together, they are consulting the library sources, they are consulting the databases, they are taking the help of the library professionals, and also like they don't know sometime how to present the data. Everyone needs citations in an institution like ours. So we are the people who can help them how to get better citation, how to get better visibility, how to change the perception of the people under whom we are working. And I think we can help the student to improve their visibility. So although they are not guided by the like ranking things, they are not presenting our thing for the ranking purpose. But of course, as my director also says, we should present the data in a way that reflects our reputation as well. Because even if you are not driven by ranking agencies, but still there are people who are seeing your rank. If the people are coming to your institution, if the ministry is saying your rank is like this time we were little bit down in US ranking, and there was lot of hue and cry, and this could be because of the like faculty student ratio or citations per faculty. So I think there are many things the librarians are doing which others cannot do. There is no academic activity in the institution which is not driven by library. That is why our scope in IIT Delhi or in such an institution is not decreasing, because we are doing many other jobs. So libraries are now referred to as learning centers that seamlessly integrate into teaching, learning, research, and extension expertise of the institution. And like not everything is available on the internet, and it's a mess subject to manipulation. Digital libraries are not the internet, and libraries are not just books. Like businesses, digital libraries still need human staff. You cannot run the library without the human staff. Not everyone can afford books and other resources. Like in our library, uh, you will not find any book below the cost of maybe $100. These may be costing more than that. So not everyone can afford these printed books as well. Libraries are stable while the web is transient. Libraries like humanity, which will never fade away and will survive forever. Moreover, saying that librarians are obsolete now because we have the internet is like saying doctors are obsolete now, we have the telemedicine, or teachers are obsolete now because we have online lectures, online courses, digital or online universities, or we have YouTube lectures. For example, if you have some health issues, you have all the reports with you, like MRI, maybe blood report, urine report, stool report, everything is with you. Still, you cannot prescribe medicine on your own. You cannot like prescribe treatment for yourself or your family member. Still, you would be going to a doctor. In the same way, like you have all the lectures available. You have NPTEL lectures, you have lectures on swim, you have everything on YouTube. Okay, then you have digital or virtual university. Still, we are short of qualified faculty members. So when you continuously need, in fact, in army as well, you can see there is dearth of qualified officers, although they are making use of technology a lot, like drone and everything. So I think in the same way, when the doctors will continuously be needed in the society, when you would need faculty members as well. I think libraries will continue to serve humanity, and our scope is not decreasing, but of course we have to go little bit out of box, like in IT Delhi as well. Like we are apart from providing basic services, we are doing all other works as well, like in faculty selections, in chair professors, in evaluation, in everything. If there are issues of ethical thing regarding plagiarism or like similarity, I think we are the people who are able to interpret, who are able to decode. Even faculty members are sometimes not able to decode the ranking formulas or the NAC thing or accreditation thing. So I think if you are going to out of box, then you can deliver a lot in your institution. Digital and AI era, there is a change in role of libraries and librarians, and we have to offer services from users' perspective. You cannot provide referral services, जो कहते हैं ना टालू सर्विस. If a user is coming to you, you have to not only provide the information, but you have to delight the user so that he may feel happy and he may become ambassador of the library services. So if the users cannot come to the library, let the library reach them as per their convenience and the way they want. There is a need to see the library through a patron side, a user side, rather than through a librarian side. So libraries and librarians would survive and continue serving human beings despite Google generation or the use of AI or machine learning. But of course, LIS should professionals should look at new technologies and services critically, as these are just means and not an end. So smart librarians will survive with smart services as a smart knowledge worker and continue with a view to serve human beings. So to conclude, I would like to say that the metamorphosis of libraries into knowledge hubs underscores the indispensable role of library professionals as dynamic knowledge workers. Their adaptability, innovation, and dedication derive the evolution of libraries as dynamic centers of learning and collaboration, transcending boundaries and empowering communities. The journey continues, beckoning stakeholders to invest in and support these dynamic spaces and ensuring libraries remain beacons of knowledge and learning in an ever-changing world. Thank you for the privilege of being a part of this exceptional event, and I look forward to networking with all of you on the occasion of Library Networking Day. With this closing quote for the Kaul साहब कि आंधियों ने गुल किए न जाने कितने चिराग, आंधियों ने गुल किए न जाने कितने चिराग, एक तेरी याद का दिया मगर जलता ही रहेगा, और जहां भी रहेगा रोशनी लुटाएगा, जहां भी रहेगा रोशनी लुटाएगा, क्योंकि किसी चिराग का कोई अपना मकान नहीं. थैंक यू.
Dr. Nabi, and that too with a concluding tribute to Dr. Kaul. You have brought in undoubtedly a very important aspect with your deliberations, and that has been the humanistic approach to the entire, the way we deal. We sometimes tend to forget that we need to humanize that technology. It is, after all, for whom are we doing? We are doing it. We get into deliberations, we get into debates. The AI for libraries, is it AI going to substitute the workforce? Is it going to be unmanned libraries? I think we need to remind not only our own selves, we have to, it's not only to make the libraries relevant, most importantly is have to keep on reminding that we have to stay relevant, and that relevance will come from various different aspects. You have very pinpointedly have it was greatly echoed from your deliberations the human angle of it, that it's not only we are seeing it from our own perspective of as being a professional, but also to see from the patron, the users, how they are envisaging. And as we are seeing now the growing trends, you have design thinking, which is coming in more customer centric, more user centric. You have user experiences departments now, as being said by both our distinguished panelists. The current generation, the way they even perceive at the things, even if we show them one, something, their way, their reaction would entirely be different, from how we would be doing, and it is and since we have to, ensure that, because they are the ones who are the users, so we have to really see to it that we are able to adopt, all those mindsets change. It's a challenging task if you think about, changing their mindsets. We are the providers. We have to really see to it that how we can, realign our own services, how we can realign, even our own, the way we have been providing our services. We are seeing it, how the things have been changing. But one strong message which has come from your deliberations, and I think everyone, not only those who are in this place, but also who are being connected with this wonderful and beautiful profession of librarianship, we know that yes, we are serving the users and the humanity that we are serving. As long as we know we are serving them with that great sense of commitment, we are going to stay forever. And in fact, our roles are becoming more important. The more information, to quote Dr. Kaul in his papers that he had written, the word that he coined it as information pollution. Let's remember him, that information pollution, there's so much of chaos which is getting created. And the more the chaos that we have, so much of data that we is getting generated, we are now trying to, see that what is the role of the professionals becomes more and more relevant now. Means we are being needed much more than ever before, because out of this entire deluge of, this data, we have to we are the ones who are going to bring in that quality, that, that essence of the things. We hold the key. So this knowledge, as we have been all being trapped in that information, data to information, but we have to really put in those, technologies are there, but let's, tame the technology, and let's try to see that we remains as a driving force. Let's not be carried away and be driven away by the technology. Let's drive the technology that we wanted the way, because no one knows better than the library professionals, the user community. I think this is no one. The best example should always come from the libraries, from the library professionals, that how to serve a user. And we should, the others should emulate our practices, whether it's from the corporate world or anyone, because we remain as an epicenter. We remain at the epicenter, and we know the pulse of them. We know that how the things are changing. We know how the transformations are changing, even in the behaviors of the users. So thank you very much, Dr. Nabi Hassanji, for bringing this wonderful aspect, and which definitely, so in the days to come, we definitely would like to also ensure that, and we would be very happy to even collaborate with IIT Delhi in holding some very specific programs, right from the technology implementation, and also this change management, which you have also reflected, in your deliberations. Thank you very much indeed, and it has been a great honor and pleasure to have you with us on this platform today. Now I would just quickly would like to mention that Dr. Sanjay Kataria would be joining in a short while. They're signing, their Bennett University is signing some MOU with a university in Thailand, and they are visiting, in fact, their university. So he's just being a little occupied on that, but he has texted saying that he will be joining in another 10-15 minutes time. And now it's a pleasure for me to request, we have Dr. Vinay Kanthola, who has joined us from NIT University, yet another colleague having a very good and great experience of working with our young, brilliant minds. NIT University being all of us knows, NIT, the most premier, the training institute in the country for the software developers and others. It's their university, and we really look forward to now hearing from Dr. Vinay that what is his view, that how really to transform and take the libraries to the next level of being as knowledge centers, and most importantly, also how to make the workforce ready for the future, to accept the challenge and to work for it. So it's over to you, Dr. Vinay, and in great pleasure and honor in welcoming you once again.
Afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, Director DELNET, for providing an opportunity to share my views when we are celebrating the 82nd birth anniversary of Dr. H. Kaul, the great H. Kaul. So I would like to pay homage no, with a sentence that is, when people were wondering how to use computers, and the great man, Dr. H. Kaul, thought to network levies and laving. So this was the vision of the Dr. H. Kaul, and he made all efforts to establish this center, and today we are here. So now I coming to the topic. This topic is very interesting, and see while reading this topic, I realized that there are two targets for library professions for us, and these targets are the first target is the uh, knowledge worker, and the second is knowledge hub. So, so many of you might be wondering why I use targets for these two terms. So there are specific reasons, because we are in the 21st century, when the knowledge professionals are they are playing crucial role along with the ICT, and you can say that they are the main driving forces of this this knowledge world. So the reasons are, the first is that because still we are playing role of library professional, not the role of knowledge worker. And second is, the organization with which we are associated are still working or still playing a role of libraries, not the knowledge hub. So first, the term knowledge worker, it was actually coined by the Peter Duggar, and because that time it was used for the professionals, those who are involved in the production, and they were having ICT knowledge. But now ICT, we all are having basic knowledge of the ICT. Okay, so there are a few definitions, and based on these definitions, so I would like to define what are the knowledge workers and what are the knowledge hubs. So, see, knowledge hubs are that institutions and networks engage in capturing of information, knowledge, and data, and they are sharing their experiences with the clients. And the knowledge worker are, they are adding value to the information that is available with them. And so actually, based on these two definitions, I have uh, selected a few points, and I would like to differentiate what the library professionals are doing and what the knowledge workers are doing. However, we are not far behind, and many of us, might be doing these. Actually, they might be engaged, because actually, Dr. Hassan and Munshi, they said they are, these, and but because there are a few points which I would like to discuss with you. Actually, see, the library professional, and we are basically, what we are doing, we are storing, processing, and collecting information, and based on these information, we are providing services to our clients, whether we are working in an academic institute or in a professional or in a ICT company. But they are they are playing with the information and knowledge. So this is a big difference, because however we are also dealing with information, but they are using it. And second is that we are providing services based on the collected and stored data. However, we have started providing e-services also, e-books, we are providing e-journals, and we are providing online databases services to our clients also. But what they are doing, they are generating value, they are adding value, the information which they are having. So many of us are doing this, many of us are engaged in this process. And the next one is, we are, as a library professional, we are disseminating information, we are keeping abreast our user about the latest happening. And basically what we are doing is circulation, issue, return, and informing our users about the latest happening. But what they are doing, they are using the information, they are analyzing the information that madam and Dr. Hassan already said that, because the use of information in a different way is, because if we are doing that, then we are the knowledge worker, then our organization is the knowledge hub. So they are utilizing the information, they are applying that information and knowledge which they have gone over the hard training, additional training, and they have got the deeper knowledge of that specific subject. So this is the main reason. Then we are the specialist as a library profession. We are specialist in the information processing and dissemination. And what they are doing, they have knowledge, they have deep knowledge in a specific subject. So not only because, as per the definitions, there are many professionals are there, doctors, lawyers, they all are called knowledge workers. But we are also knowledge worker because we are doing the same work, but we have to enhance our skills. Now, otherwise we are just one step behind. And the next one is, our as a library professional, our focus is on uh, information and the user requirements. What we are doing in the library, we are procuring, we are adding materials in our library based on the requirement. If you are working in the university or an academic institute, we are procuring book according to our syllabus. Okay, and we are matching the curriculum. This is what we are doing. Whereas the knowledge worker, they are one step ahead of us. If I think you should not mind it. And because what they are doing, they are focusing on the problem. They are solving the problems of others, and based on the knowledge, and they are sharing their experience with the others, so that they can overcome from that particular problem. Then, as a library professional, we are skill based, professionals. But nowadays, some of us have got mastery in the ICT, and that's why they are having edge over others. Whereas the knowledge worker, no, what they are doing, they are, fully technological professional. They are master in technology, and that's why they are getting, good jobs, good opportunity, and they have edge over others. And not in only our, profession. In finance, fintech is there, and new types of terminologies are there, new types of job are there due to the ICT. Then what we are doing, we are engaged in the regular activities, and whereas they are, generating new ideas. Okay, they are, engaged in the innovation, and it is not like that our professionals are not engaged in that. I would like to quote one example. So recently, there is a library in the Jaipur, that is, LMNIT, and the librarians are, they have, that institute has introduced outdoor library. So park is there, the shed is there. If you want to read, you want to go outside, just go there and read. Yeah, this is called the innovation. So in our, field, innovation is also there. So actually, based on these, roles and responsibilities, so I have identified a few gaps, and we need to focus on these gaps, and we need to enhance our qualities. The first one is because we are not the knowledge practitioner. Okay, they are using their knowledge over the period of time. They have gained it, and and working hard. And second one is that we need to develop our analytical and the problem solving skills. It is not like that we are not engaged in these activities, but we have to give attention on this particular area. Then that out of box, ma'am and the Dr. Navi, they have already discussed. Then IT expertise, because actually, irrespective of the field, whether it's a library or any field, if you are good in the technology, if I have, good technical knowledge, then definitely you are going to get edge over others. You will get preference. Even you might have seen the advertisement in government and the government sectors and in private sectors. People have started giving, preference over our traditional degree. That is called MLive and BLive. So recently there are some advertisement. I would not like to quote that organization, but so so what is, so we need to develop our ICT skills, because actually we need to focus, and that we need to changes in the our syllabus and the curriculum. And you will see that, because I am from the academic background, I know that you just take any course, whether it is BSc, MSc, at BTech, MBA. So you will find some courses related to the ICT. Even in some courses, no, universities and institutes, they have started teaching the languages, Python and other languages. So if you are doing that, definitely similarly it should happen with us also. If we could do that, definitely we are going to we are going to win, and so nobody can replace us. And the next, that is they have the capturing and sharing and exchanging the skills. And last one, that is called the they have the they are, what they are doing, they are simply using the information, they are scouting and filtering the available information, and they are repackaging that information. So these are the these are the differences between library professional and the knowledge worker. So and but see, one thing I would like to add here, that uh, we need to enhance our skills, basically the analytical skills, ICT skills. So otherwise we are we are doing the work of the knowledge worker, and our organizations are knowledge hub. So one more point, which was actually, there was a fear among the people that AI will replace the human, but it is not like that, because in 90s, late 90s and in early 20s, because when the automation happened, so people started saying that, oh, people will use jobs, but it never happened. Even I have some graphs, but I can show that. But the employment rate has gone up, so it is increasing. So that's why ICT is very important, whether you accept it or not. We have to include major part of the ICT in our courses. And now there are, because I have identified a few organizations, and I can say that these organizations are knowledge hubs and the knowledge workers are there. So DELNET, because you see the DELNET and the InfilNet, I have recognized these. Might be many other organizations, but because I am dealing with these two organizations, and I can bet that these two organizations are the knowledge hubs, because the people and the worker, the knowledge, the professional working there, they are the knowledge worker. They have engaged in themselves in the capturing the knowledge, information, exchanging information. They are helping others. They are solving the problem of the others. So we have to we have to update ourselves. And with these words, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much for the patience.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vinay, for adding yet another dimension to the discussions today, and we have truly valued your deliberations. It's time for me now to move online. The program is also online. It's in hybrid, in person and online, and there is, I think we are doing a great justice by seeing to it that we have one of our speaker, distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjay Kataria ji, the librarian and professor at DELNET University, who has joined us online. We have been wanting to see him in person here, but Dr. Kataria has helped us in fulfilling this and making it that, yes, it is in hybrid. So it's not only the participation, the attendees, it's also our speakers who are there, online with us. Profound honor and pleasure in welcoming Dr. Sanjay Kataria. And Dr. Kataria, thank you very much. You have been really, really so kind and gracious in ensuring that he has to be out of the meeting to be here with us. So the meeting is still going on, and he's really kind enough. It's truly, we have appreciated your sparing time for us, Sanjayji, and I would really like to stand between you and our colleagues who are here with us here at Delhi, DELNET, as well as online, who have joined us. And we really look forward, now to hearing from you. It's over to you, Dr. Kataria, and welcome to this program today. It's over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta. Good afternoon, one and all on this audience, and the panelists, special my senior Dr. Usha Mulsi and my colleague Dr. Nabi and Vinay Kanthola. And this is a really great day to me because we are celebrating the library networking day. And this and the remembrance of 82 birth anniversary of Dr. S.K. Kaul ji. We all know that contribution of Dr. S.K. Kaul in the profession as well as the DELNET. He was my ideal in this profession. There are very few people where you can say we can follow their practices, we can follow their path. And there are very few people in this country where people contributed something out of box and they did something unique. If you look at the DELNET journey, how this last 25-30 years, it was started as like a small project, and then what Vinay told, this is a truly kind of knowledge hub, and the way they started this project. So thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta, for this initiation and celebration of Library Networking Day. This is a true tribute to Dr. S.K. Kaulji. He's always talk about the transition of libraries in knowledge center and librarian as a knowledge worker. So this topic is very close to Dr. S.K. Kaul's vision. And the topic what I heard from the other speaker, Vinay has told so many things. And I'm sure that Dr. Nabi and Dr. Usha spoke, most of things, and hardly say something to me. But if you look at our libraries condition, the topic is talking about transforming libraries into the knowledge hub and the library professional as knowledge worker. This is very rightly said. If you look at the, if you way back 1980s or 70 or 80s, that libraries were confined to a place with some traditional resources, and library people, library staff, library team, the role was just to, is very passive, kind of just to direct them, just to inform them, guide them, referral, or just to provide an access to the some traditional resources. So that was a role. But if you, that was role of libraries, was very confined with that physical collection. There was a few say audio visual material those days, and those days libraries were known as more towards the resource centric. Okay, and libraries was more towards an individual learner, or that it was considered as a silence place. So, and that library is used as a kind of static environment, not that kind of dynamic environment. But when talking about knowledge hub is nothing but kind of the place with a lot of vibrations, dynamic place for the collaborations, where the people used to meet different kind of different society, different professional used to meet in the knowledge hub. They interact, and like those knowledge hub is not only confining to providing the knowledge access to knowledge resources, but knowledge hub is more towards creating knowledge, equally contributing the knowledge. Okay, then and organizing, sharing, and collaborating is one of the things, and more towards the talking about technology. Yes, knowledge hub is a more dynamic in terms of the using technologies, integration of technologies. There are different kind of technologies. If you look at in the last 20 years, the kind of transition in terms of the technology, how we started with the library automation, then with digitization, we're talking about the online resources, offline resources. Now talking nowadays, we're talking about remote access. All the kind of transformation took place. So knowledge hub is, when talking about libraries, what is resource centric, but knowledge hub is a kind of community centric, where the different community people can interact and meet each other, and that knowledge hub is more often community centric, what I told, and fostering collaboration among the diverse group of the people, including professional research students and general public. It's kind of is unlike a traditional libraries, knowledge hub often prioritize innovation and creativity. They may host the event, the workshops and the events like this event, and generate new ideas and develop some kind of new innovations. So adaptability, talking about knowledge hub is very aggressively involved with the community, and look at that the changing need of the users, and they used to alter and customize the services. They repackaging that there is information and the services, and then delivering them. So there is a the role in the library from to this knowledge hub is entirely there was a different concept. But if you look at present context, most of libraries, I'm talking about this new age libraries, there's hardly there is a difference between the knowledge hub and that libraries, because libraries nowadays, we are not only curating, organizing, collecting the resources, not only the providing access to knowledge resources, but equally using the resources, equally creating a new resources, new knowledge, and equally partner with the academia and research community. So this is the major shift from that traditional library to the knowledge hub. And nowadays we're talking about libraries not only confining to helping the community to find out the resources, but equally partnering in terms of the research and the teaching. So this is a great shift from the libraries to knowledge hub, and now present libraries entirely having different provisions. And knowledge, I'm talking about towards knowledge hub as a library professional. So library must library professional must must be a lifelong learner. Every day we are getting something new. We're talking about latest emerging technologies like AI application, different sectors, AI applications in different libraries. And I'm happy to inform that we are exploring a lot of different platforms in AI platforms for the supporting research, supporting writing, publishing research. So how we are equally giving a kind of exposure to other research scholars and the students. So the library is also, or library must be more involved with that information literacy, so that because there is a lot of technologies there, a lot of different platforms are there. So users, users are not able to explore those kind of tools and technologies completely. So library people can help them to explore those kind of platform, and they can use optimally. And community engagement is very important. Digital transformation is very important for the library towards library knowledge hub. Collaborative space is one of the very important. Community engagement and collaborative space is very important. This present libraries or say knowledge hub. Talking of terminology can be anything, but now a library is more dynamic. Library is no more that passive. Libraries and librarian are not confining with the library premises system. Libraries going to the classroom. Earlier, user used to come to the library, but library nowadays going to classroom. Library is going to home, their hostels, and providing all kind of possible resources to their community. And now that new trends, emerged. Libraries more is converting into the data centers. They are more in engaging and managing the data and data analytics. So this kind of shift is is very important. So library professional must understand, must equip themselves first, and then support the community. So this is very important. Areas where we can do so many things together. And more important is that talking again and again, the community engagement, creating new knowledge, and a lot of open educational resources nowadays available, and to connect, to create an awareness among the community, to so that they can utilize those resources optimally. And new technology like virtual and augmented reality, VR, AR is there. So many things. If you look at our present library system, we have created a different kind of spaces within the libraries. Library is not more the silent zone. This is a kind of happening zone. So if you look at the happening zone, there is a kind of collaborative reading learning environment is required. So there is a lot of scope, for the libraries in this present new era, with the help of the technology, and not only the technology, but creating a kind of environment, creating kind of support system to the academic and research, so they can explore, they can explore their resources, they can utilize the resources optimally, and library people can just make a justification of the use resources, use spaces, and the investment what we used to invest in the libraries. So these are the few things, and many things already been must have said by the other speaker. So I'm available for any further discussion and the questions. Though we have still we have guest from that other Thailand. So there was an MOU was going on. Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta, for giving him a time. And still, there is a great time to contribute to our Dr. S.K. Kaulji on this occasion. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sanjay. Your presence here greatly valued, and also you have also given again very strong message. Libraries are the happening places. No longer we consider them as a silent zones, and there has to be more collaborations coming in. We are truly grateful to you for sparing time for us, in spite being in the midst of the hectic professional meetings that you had this morning. Still, you could be able to get out of it, and that speaks volumes of your commitment, not only for the profession but also your long-time association with the DELNET, for which we greatly always value your contributions. Thank you very much, Dr. Kataria, for being there with us. With this, we are towards the closure, but we cannot have a closure unless and until the networking is a net-like structure which works as a network. And we have said enough from one side of the discussions, and we really want to make it, as we said earlier, we want to make it more engaging. Now is the time for each one of us on the other side of this hall here in person, and also those who have joined us online, to make the best use of the ability of our distinguished speakers and to further deliberate and to pose any questions, anything that they may like to say on this occasion. We would truly welcome that. So firstly, I'm with the permission of our colleagues who have joined us online, we would like to make the floor open for our very esteemed attendees who are here with us this on this very special day, and requesting you may like to say anything. It would be a pleasure. I also welcome Balani sir. Thank you very much for being, it is that strong connection that Dr. Kaul had. It's not only the DELNET, but his connections, which I can see that you had postponed your passport, appointment that he had today. He pushed it, for a later day, only to ensure. May I request you, Balani sir, means one of the most respected and same time, great, great connection with Dr. Kaul that Balani Saab had, and also with the continued support to DELNET. Great pleasure in having you on this occasion on his birth anniversary today.
Thank you very much. Very much, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, for inviting me here. Before I start, I would like to pay my respects to Dr. H.K. Kaul, whom I had known for many years, actually. I think the first time I met him was in perhaps 1982 at the India International Center. And I was very young, a salesman, and didn't know much about library business. I was new to the publishing industry. And he would actually talk about, books and how they can be circulated. And it was something new. I wouldn't understand this. But then every time I would meet him, he will talk at least for half an hour, 40 minutes, and give me lectures. And actually, I took those lectures to various libraries. And they would wonder, how come this boy knows so much, about library business, So I think I learned a lot from Dr. Kaul. And then after, of course, DELNET was established in 1992, perhaps. And then I had been in touch with him over the years, and I worked with you, and we started even, using DELNET, or we requested Dr. Kaul, since you are into this networking, and then e-books and e-journals came in, 2000. I said, why not you also help libraries with some, databases which could be affordable, and we worked out, and we have been working with DELNET for many years, for which I thank Dr. Kaul and, of course, Dr. Sangeeta and the team. So it has been a pleasure really working with DELNET. And I'll be completing 50 years in publishing on 1st of January 2024. So it's a long innings. So I'm not a librarian, but I've been dealing with the libraries and the librarians, and I learn a lot. And today also I'm here to meet, Generation Y. Most of you are new librarians, young librarians. Of course, they are very seniors also. But I think we should not neglect young librarians. You have to learn a lot from them. Many times I've seen that we just take it for granted that we know everything. But perhaps we are wrong at many times, that we may not know everything. So I think we should really, as a librarian or as a caretaker of the library, we should really collaborate with the students and young teachers and help them guide in their profession. So I'm very happy to be part of this fraternity, and thank you very much. Thank you.
So much, Balani sir. Greatly admired your presence here today with us. Any of our colleagues may like to say anything? Those who are there, otherwise I may have to, yes.
For inviting us. Being a young library professional, I wish to add one quote which I had used.
I introduce yourself, Sadhna.
I'm Sadhna from All India Council for Technical Education. Uh, I had used this quote in Sonipat conference also. We are afraid from the technology that it will replace us. Being a library professional, it will replace us. I had used that technology might be like an instant Maggi noodle, which will be fill your stomach but harm your health. So I don't think technology will replace the library. And I also give the homage to Dr. H.K. Kaul and add one quote that अगली सुबह होने से फूलों की खुशबू बदला नहीं करती. So ages will be changes and we will go traditional to digitization and towards the digitalization. But the contribution of Dr. H.K. Kaul will never be diminished. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. We have Dr. Rajesh, who may like to, yes.
Rajesh Bhardwaj, presently working with GLA University, Mathura. First of all, I would like to pay my sincere tribute to Dr. Kaur. Ordinary vision. First, I remember me and Dr. Dharam Kumar visited IIC some around in 98 around. So during that we haven't opportunity to meet Dr. Kaul, but we met Sangeeta at that time. Later we met Dr. Kaul and we many meetings in conferences, seminars. But when I was with Terry during 2008 to 10, we met frequently with Dr. Kaul and many deliberations on networking. And I really would like to mention that we are enough lucky to have ourselves in his age because such a great personality we had. He has given such a beautiful infrastructure for us for sharing information, knowledge, dissemination of knowledge, and he has made such a beautiful organization, which is not only on national but on international level of recognition. So all of I feel that library professionals are proud to have such personality in our profession. So because networking, if we say there are four key points are there: the resources, print or digital, virtual, the networking, dissemination, and the end users. If we connect all these, then our purpose is solved. And Dr. Kaul has done this. So I pay my homage to him and thankful to Sangeeta and all distinguished panelists having to talk and views. And thank you all to be with us. Thank you.
सभी वरिष्ठ एवं कनिष्ठ बंधुओं का सादर अभिवादन। मैं डॉक्टर सौरभ शुक्ला हूँ, पार्लियामेंट लाइब्रेरी से। एच.के. कौल जी को भावभीनी जयंती पर मैं उनको भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ। और डेलनेट के साथ मेरा जो जर्नी रही है 2003 या 4 में से शुरू हुई डॉक्टर कौल और डॉक्टर संगीता के साथ। मेरा पहला पब्लिकेशन मैकलिन 2004 में रहा, जो कभी शायद ना भुलाने वाली एक याद है, अविस्मरणीय यादें कहते हैं जिसे। बहुत ही शानदार जर्नी रही है और आगे भी मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि डेलनेट का विस्तार जैसे हो रहा है और नेटवर्किंग के साथ वो जारी रहेगा। मेरी शुभकामनाएं डेलनेट को। एक क्वेश्चन मैं उषा मैम से जानना चाहता हूँ। रिसर्च के मामले में मैम आपका कोई वो जवाब नहीं है, रिसर्च पब्लिकेशन एंड ऑल द इंटीग्रेशन। आने वाले समय में जो इनपुट आ रहा है, so I just wanted to know how the scenario will change with the AGI coming into the domain just now.
Other day, I was with one of the research scholars who was trying to summarize the, abstract and have highlights for one of the publications to be published in Elsevier journals. So he had done that everything, but he just wanted to run it too. So I was just with him because I'm actually doing some prototype on that generative AI. Then he says that highlights were there and they were okay. And then he went for some reiteration couple of times. He had more references and he gave a command. Get that with you. And then he gets references 2023 and all. So I just told him, gentlemen, you have done this. Let's Google these references, whether they exist or not. What are you saying? They are there. I said, no, you just check it. Not even a single reference. Then we were actually checking that at the bottom. Then I told him, just look carefully. At the bottom, it says, these are imaginary. So when you are AI, you can use it for the jobs like having highlights from the stuff that you have created. It will give you, but yet you have to actually give it a thought whether it is in sync with what I wanted to say, right? But for giving the idea, please do not believe it, because it's like, what is it doing? It's using machine learning, running it through the backend resources that is available to it. It could be junk, it could be good resources also. So there is a, there are two sides of this. So you need to be, unless and until now, have you seen almost a week ago, earlier when you were doing chat GPT, it was letting you do whatever you want, many iteration. Of course, after 10 iterations, it will say your session is over. But when you do now, it is asking you to log in. The past 1 week, it is asking you to log in, right? So it's also trying to understand who you are, what you do, what you have created, and then it's going to push that back. So you have to be very, very careful. And this, I don't think a time will come. We were thinking the internet has come and is going to stop everything, libraries, information centers. But I remember Professor Subrat Kaur, he's from IIT. He once said long, long ago when I did some event and he was speaking, and he said, let's not be servants of technology. Let technology serve us. So you need to keep that in mind.
It is called as co-pilot. जो आपने बात कही मैम, 500 हम लोग लिटरेचर रिव्यू करते हैं, हम लोग क्या करते हैं, 500 पहले पेपर्स पढ़ेंगे, अपना प्रोडक्ट निकालेंगे, देन समराइज यू जस्ट pull it up to the Excel sheet, he will do it. When you ask them to put it into the PowerPoint, he will do it. Within 15 minutes, your application is ready. Only $22.
Dr. Saurabh, in fact, I was just, yeah.
I would like to add a very important point. At NIT, actually, I am now working as a nodal officer for plagiarism-related activities. So almost every day I receive such documents. And sometimes I find that almost 100% student, that if the softwares are not there, then they can simply, cut and paste. So I'm telling you that quarantine has that capability, because it simply shows that this much percent is similarity and this much percent is AI. So such software are also available to track this type of activities. And the second thing which I would like to mention here, that human mind cannot be defeated, because, and the great example of that COVID-19. So we struggle, but we overcome, and that is my submission. Thank you very much.
I would just like to add on this. I was just 3 days ago was participating in one panel discussion at National Medical Library, wherein we had Karger Publishing from Switzerland also joined in. We had a National Board of Medical Education chief was there, and Deputy Director General, National Medical Library. See, when we talk about this AI, we also have to be a little be aware about the fact that there are a lot much of ethics involved with it. Are we not in some ways inspiring? When we say that you feed in 500 articles and then you are able to get a summarized thing, are we not in some ways contributing to what we have Balani Saab over here, the plagiarism detection and all that? Let me just tell you, the countries like European Union, you would be knowing, they have now come out with the AI Act, which is now just going to be done. The leading publishers, including, for example, Science now, they have come out with their policies, that is, they have made in their editorial as well as in their license agreements, that in no way the ChatGPT content will be entirely, be barred. It's not permitted at all. So we have to be, and there are, in fact, in Northwest University in New York, they have done a survey wherein for 50 medical journals, they created a ChatGPT abstract and they gave it to the human reviewers. Can you believe it? 68% of those content being generated by ChatGPT, the human reviewers were not able to figure out that this is being generated by ChatGPT. So what are we inspiring? What is a message are we giving? You are having on one end the actual authors, the credible authors who are working day and night to bring out a research. On the other hand, false. It's all a forced kind of the research gets reported. And research, for example, once it comes out, there is someone else whose starting point report. It will be all voice report which has come out from these ChatGPT. You have the countries are investing in their putting in their money into the research. So are we not, you are digging your own grave, and we feel very happy about it, that we are doing artificial intelligence. Fine, let's say, for example, literature survey, you can very well can do, rather than going through it, you can do it, but there has to be, that line has to be drawn. You have to say, herein your boundary comes, ends. You cannot now barge in, you cannot intrude into these spaces, because this ethics of information ethics, all of us knows about it. And when it comes to that knowledge component, it is the credibility, whether we talk about publishers, we talk about the actual originators of that particular thought, their creativity. So let's not, we have to remain highly sensitive on this issue. We should not feel very proud of it, saying, yes, we have integrated to the extent that you feel that you are morally and ethically abiding with the things. But don't let it override it completely. And to forget about it, there is also a human component, being there. I think we have to remain more sensitive on this. I think, yes, Madam, you like to.
In one of the publishers, when you submit the paper, they ask you when you are giving the different details. They ask you, one is that, have you used generative AI? So this is very important. Second thing is that, as Sangeeta ji mentioned, that we have to draw a line. That's very important, because look at the West. They lost the calculating power, but we still were calculating using our brains. They say, oh my God, how are you? 11 plus 12, you're quickly giving the answer. And if they had no calculators in hands, they were dumb heads, wooden heads actually. So with AI, what will happen? I mean, we have lost that calculating power because we are also doing, but with AI, we also lose the analytical power. So we'll become dumb terminals if we follow that. That's why I really like Professor Bratkar's this statement. Don't let technology make us servants. Use technology to serve.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Abhijit Sinha from DELNET College. First and the foremost, my profound tribute to Dr. H.K. Kaul, the founder director of DELNET and also a legendary professional. It's great to be here, and my association with DELNET has been since the year 2000, when I joined after my master's on a very brief, term for a project of DELNET at Sahitya Academy. That was June 2000. Some of my questions, or you can say suggestions, to this learned panel. Like, IIC library has been a marvel since its inception, right? And what distinguishes a library in the light of the users is its collection and the services. So I find that IIC library is more of a public library, and so we would like to know what is its collection development policy. And number two, what are the unique services it is offering to its users so that it is still very popular today and they are maintaining their image. This question, let me finish with my question first. The second question is to our technology institution, that is IIT Delhi. Uh, what are the features, distinguishing features of your library? How you are creating values in your services for your institution? And the third observation would be that a very good suggestion has come from the third speaker, that since every profession, every industry is running towards computers and the computer competencies amongst its professionals, so why don't the LIS profession, right? So therefore, certainly we need to incorporate that competency like Python into our curriculum. So these are my observations. And number four, my observation is for DELNET, that DELNET is an institution who can share such services, or the value added services which are being done by the member institution, so that it could be shared amongst the other professionals and we can also behave and act in a similar way. Thank you very much.
Well, we are not in real terms the public library because this library is restricted to the membership. And of course, we started looking at people, not many people can get the membership of the IIC. Therefore, what we did is that if there are researchers who are hardcore researchers, and we do support them by having the temporary library membership for 3 months at a very nominal rate, right? What is the collection development policy? It's very stringent policy. What we do is that we do analyze the data, that the issue, the collection, what we already have, and based on that, what kind of books are being used. We also have the traces of who uses what, right? We have 7,000 members, but not all 7,000 members come to the library. But at any given point of time, you won't find less than 70 people staying in the library. And on an average, our daily transactions is 135 to 200 books being issued and returned, right? And people who come, people who come to the library, they also are writers. They are prolific writers. They have during post-COVID, they have published right, left, and center, and that is based on the IIC collection. So what we do is that every alternate year since the last 5 years, we do 1 year we do the physical verification, the other second year we do which collection has not been used for the past 5 years. We take it out. We don't have much space. What do we do with that? There is a committee who goes through that and finds the usability and usefulness in the long run of this collection. then we have some space in the basement and we do it. We put, but it's still recorded, listed where this document has been filed. Now, based on the data analytics, we do the collection. And there are almost 5 layers of screening. That's how our more than 70% collection is in circulation. The screening starts from me, then it goes to the chairman library committee, director, the secretary, then to finally the president, and then only we. But it is such a stringent procedure that every month we add number of books to our collection, and that becomes what Sangeeta ji said, that Dr. Kaul used to cut those, put that outside. Of course, we have mechanized that process, and it is those, the covers of those books are displayed outside, and you will see the day we put that list in public domain, it's sent to all the members. Next day, you will have a beeline to look at from vice president down. We don't, kind of, there's no special provision that the vice president has come, he's standing there and he is looking at this. No, whosoever comes, they are the same as an ordinary researcher who has taken a temporary membership for the library. We regard them as our valuable users. Of course, we give them a lot of facilities. So far as the services are concerned, there have been a number of services which were there, and more were getting added to that. What we do is that we are trying to augment the services that they were provided and bring more, innovation to, technological interventions. But what we have also done is, say, for instance, we created the digital portal, right? So it's got now entire ISC. We have already covered 3 pages. Even our programs, cultural, academic, and social programs, they have also been embed of the digital. Of course, they were on their website, but it was not, the search was not intuitive. The 4th phase we are doing for the entire organization, looking at the success of the first 2 phases, which we did during COVID, entire year, we didn't stop that. So we were, by January 2021, we were up and running with that digital portal. So we are, and then, as I said, this SMS and WhatsApp. So just to be, tell users that we are there, we are round the clock with you. So that also makes a difference. You have to be in constant touch with your users. That's very, very important. We are not closed. We work, except in 6 days, we are from morning to evening there. And we have a very small bunch of people who work in the library, but they are asset for the library. You will never find them, kind of shirking work, telling no, we are tired. And of late, during the COVID, I was asked that how can you engage the users? And our program department is of course there, but she couldn't create, those programs because dances and double bill and things like that, that needed physical presence. I said, okay, let her do the archival, pull out from archive. I will do the live programs. So we started doing live. I was down with COVID myself in the Delta wave, but I was still doing. So my director was saying, are you down or you just said that you have COVID? I said, no, I'm down with COVID. And I have isolated myself in one room where my computer is there and few dresses are there. I'm engaging with the person. And these programs became so important and so sought after. Now, when I tell them that now we are back in business, let us kind of give a break to this. We'll have, instead of 10, 12, we'll have 4 or 5. Director says, see how much people have got, connected to this. Please don't do this. So you ask for more manpower, but please don't stop this. And the thing is, the other beautiful thing is, Sushma will say, and Sangeeta will also know, the program, some programs use a limited number of people. Look at the program. Today also I have two programs in the evening. Yesterday I had one, day before I had one. The halls are full. People are standing. Maybe it is the after COVID effect impact. People want to come out, but nevertheless, if you have two programs or one program every day, the crowd will be part, but it's still there.
Thank you so much, and requesting Dr. Nabi, because we have to now wind up the session, wrap up the session soon as the lunch. I'm getting the text messages from my colleagues, saying that, ma'am, lunch is ready since 1 o'clock. So let's try to see to it. We had enough, of the deliberations, wonderful deliberations. So let's try to see to it, because I have to give some time for our online attendees too. We have to do fairly a good justice with our online colleagues, so we have to give them a chance if they have any questions. So, Dr. Nabi, you and me, if we can just can be quick enough in giving our inputs here.
So in fact, your question was like how we are creating value for our institution. This was the question. So I think we are working very silently. We are not inviting many people from outside professions or like this. So in IT Delhi, our first focus is on user. The first message to any of my library staff member is don't say no to anyone. I think Shivani is there from my institution. So the first message is don't say no to any resource, anything that the users are asking, whether these are faculty member or the student. And we are trying to identify who are visiting the library. Like we have system, we are able to identify the people are coming from chemical engineering or biomedical engineering or management. So on the basis of the people who are sitting in the library, they may not be knowing that we are watching them. Who are they? And we are also identifying like the type of user like BTech or PhD or research scholar. So on the basis of their requirement and what they are doing, for what purpose they are coming to the library, we are like trying to identify their requirement, and we are trying to serve them the type of information they are looking for. And like they are coming in groups as well. So we have a research support services and outreach program in the library, a unit which is helping them in their research, in their like how to get more citations, how to get good visibility. Of course, it is ranking institute. It is helping institution in ranking as well. And of course, at a national level, there was a question from one of the colleagues like how we are like creating value for at a national level as well. Like we have served as a national source center in library information science for offering that move. So I think we are helping the government of India in their skilling India program by skilling the library professionals. So there were more than 3,000 learners, registered learners every year. And now you will be happy to know that the like IT Delhi library is the only and the first library which has been given first NPTEL course. It is given to a professor of I 7 IITs or IC Bangalore only. So our course has been is there with the name Science Communication, Research Productivity and Data Analytics using open source. I mean, you can also join. We have not started publicizing it because we still there are 300 like registrations, and also like no like faculty selection, chair, professor evaluation is complete without behind the scenes library is there. And when it comes from the government of India, who are the people who have not contributed after joining the system, or who are the professors who have stopped contributing after becoming professor. So we are doing lot of behind the scene activity, but our request to the system is that we should not be in front. We want to work silently because we cannot like face the music from such a community. This is and we are using all the open source resources. Even we have created our own chatbot as well, Bib Dial Plus. You can try chatting with that as well. So this is what we are doing silently, but we are mostly young people. I'm the oldest one, and most of them are bachelor as well. So there is no time limitation. Our when we are entering in the office, there is a time, but we are going at like as per the requirement in the office. This is what we have created a ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank. Can you? Yeah. Should I just give a reply to the last question that, yeah, Dr. Abhijit asked? Dr. Nabi, the old is gold, so you must, yeah. So they really need your guidance and your leadership there at IIT Delhi. Regarding your question, a good question from you, Abhijit, and let me just tell you that we are already have started working in developing again a very state-of-the-art portal. And this portal is for best practices among DELNET member institutions. So we are making this, and it's not only restricted to our best practices only in the libraries. No, we are seeing it now. We have got, you would be knowing about it. We have got a vision portal, video lectures online, wherein we have our IQAC heads who are coordinating more than our own library colleagues, because it is a different level, who are doing that work. It's bringing accolades, to them, and they think about, having shown them those things, with the NAC and other accreditation bodies. So this is best practices among DELNET member institutions. As an institution, if they are doing something good and they feel that they are the ones, who are doing it, and it's something very, very unique in nature, we are creating that a platform for sharing. So yet another knowledge sharing platform, and then also see that, who are, it gives a platform for everyone to get benefit. It's not like reinventing the wheel. So that work already we have initiated very well. By the middle of the new year 2024, by June we will be able to, and we are now trying to, we have a communication going from our side to all our institutional heads, along with our colleagues, in the libraries, and requesting them to participate. We have some of the new initiatives that you are bringing in, and it is to use this entire huge, 8,300 institutions intellect and the best of the things which are happening, and making it more visible to everyone. So, it's like contributing to everyone's growth. So it's not that only me or you or he or she does. It is like, that we should be a co-creators. Let's co-create. It's not like someone creating it, but it's very important that we become a partner in a co-creation. So that's what we are trying to achieve, through this. And soon, there will be an announcement. Please, kindly.
Hello everyone. This is Dr. Lalita Tyagi from IM.
It is this also.
This is Dr. Lalita Tyagi from IMS Ghaziabad. First of all, Karan Vandan to the HK call, sir. And I just wanted to ask what are the services, promising services, and the software available which every library should use? And second question is, what kind of ICT skills we should develop?
It seems that in the lunch break, because this requires in itself, we can hold a session like this the entire day, and even an entire day. Yes, what are the new services? Very innovative and more vibrant and innovative services, just in tune with the demand of the time, the demand of the users which are there. And the other one that you said, the skill sets, typically the skill sets, what are those skill sets? They can be the soft skills or the hard skills, what we should, make ourselves equipped with. Thank you very much. Towards the conclusion, given us, something to think about for doing the next session. We'll definitely, and our distinguished speakers are here, that you can very well can deliberate on this during the lunch break. Yes, a time for me quickly to ask our online attendees, please raise your digital hands. I have lowered the hands of everyone and requesting you, please raise your hand if you have any questions. I can already I can see there is a good number. Kushal, can you just switch on? Okay, let it be otherwise, because I'm just swifting through the entire list, and I can see that there is a good number of colleagues who I have lowered your digital hand. You let me just, there is a huge big number again. Uh, this is for you, Akanksha. It seems you are not really online right now. In case if you are there, please raise your digital hand again. This is for Divakar Archana. Divakar Archana, this is for Divakar Archana Desraj. I have unmuted you, requesting you to please unmute yourself. If not, you'll be able to wait for 30 seconds. Dr. Mukesh Kumar, I have unmuted you. So, you have raised your digital hand. Dr. Mukesh Kumar Meena, extremely sorry for me muting you now. Mr. Prem Kumar, they have gone for lunch after raising the digital hand. Now they are having lunch and they are depriving you lunch. So
This is for you, Mr. Prem Kumar. I'm extremely sorry. Let me now unmute you. This is for Ramaben Thakur for lunch. They have raised their digital hands and then they are not here. Yes, yeah, that's what, yeah. So quickly, I will just say for once, this is a part and parcel of a protocol. We don't let any of the queries remain unanswered. So this is for you, Mr. KK Pandey. In case if you are still waiting and you have not taken the lunch, do kindly get connected. Yes, we are connected. Thank you very much, Dr. Pandey.
Thank you, ma'am. Myself, KK Pandey, librarian, NNM, Deemed University, Nalanda. It is a very remote area. So first of all, I pay my heartfelt floral tribute to Dr. H.K. Kaul on his birth anniversary. He was a great visionary, and DELNET makes efforts to make his vision come true in the knowledge era, shifting from the information era. I, on behalf of all the remote area library professionals, like to request DELNET to initiate online program for library professionals to change themselves a trained knowledge worker from library professions. So try to get for online courses, online training program for remote area professionals who are not getting opportunity to get them skilled. Please, that is my humble request. Thank you. Thank you very much to giving me the opportunity to
Dr.
share
Pandey, and this has been one of our areas in which we would like to definitely do. This is to offer a kind of a course which can be endorsed by some of the universities. But thank you very much once again for voicing the same concern, which we are genuinely wanting to do in something in that direction. This is for Mr. Anush Kumar. Mr. Anush Kumar, could you please unmute yourself? Mr. Anuj Kumar, could you please unmute yourself? Anuj, I am extremely sorry. I have to mute you now. This is for Mr. Prem Kumar, which is detected over here. You need to log out and log in and see if you are still holding the session. Pushkar, Dr. Pushkar Sharma. Pushkar, it seems that you are now out for lunch because we can see that you have been a little inactive for the last few minutes. So, Dr. B.K. Verma, just trying it out. Dr. B.K. Verma. Dr. B.K. Verma? No. See, everyone has gone for lunch. And I think it's a high time for us also to do. It is, yes, yes. And I request all of you to please join your hands together to give a very big applause to our very distinguished speakers, Dr. Usha Munshiji, Dr. Nabi Hassan, Dr. Sanjay Kataria, who has been very kind in joining online, and also Dr. Vinay Kantula. On behalf of DELNET, on behalf of this entire network, family of DELNET, may we have a pleasure in presenting small mementos. Mementos given, the mementos are small, but the gratitude is too large. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
I think
I think you have covered. All right. So we will talk about. So we will just talk about social media accessibility, how we can make our posts, our photos, our video accessible for all kind of disabled people.